Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Steph from the Hot Moving Podcast, and we are back covering the Garrett Aldestein Hustler Casino Robbie Lou alleged cheating scandal. I mean, this story just keeps getting better and better. It's better than any story Hollywood could write right now. And I mean, hey, what better place to have this than in LA? The backdrop, Hollywood, is California. We got drama, so let's go. Okay, so during Hustler Casino's live stream yesterday, Garrett drops a massive bomb. In his tweet, he has a link to a forum or some blog post where he pretty much highlights everything that allegedly had occurred, or what he saw occurred in the video, and also has some information behind the scenes with some of the relationships with some of these players and how things were that led up to the game. And after the game as well. Real quick though, Hustler Casino about a couple days ago fired an employee that worked in the production, or at least worked behind the scenes. After that, there is a live stream where the cheating was alleged to have occurred. After that, this employee named Brian had stolen $15,000 from Robbie Lou's stack. So he took about 3 of those chocolate chips, and no charges were filed, which is very interesting. And I believe there was reports out there that Robbie and this gentleman knew each other, but Robbie is claiming that she didn't know him, and didn't press charges. Look, I mean, I don't know who just steals $15,000 from you and then you don't press charges. I don't care if I got that money back. I'm pressing charges. Like, don't touch my stack. Seriously. Okay. Anyways, though, so in Garrett, and I highly recommend checking out Garrett's post of detailing everything. Pretty much, I mean, he's pretty much establishing the fact that there was a relationship between Robbie and this guy Rip, and he believes that they were signaling to each other. He highlights a bunch of timestamps of their interactions, and plenty of people have covered this already, so I'm not going to go too much into detail about it. I recommend you guys again check it out, but I can see what he's saying. I mean, he already feels that Garrett feels he was already kind of in a scenario where those people kind of working together, colluding, whatever. Now, how much of that gave him an advantage, that we don't know, but clearly there's an established relationship at the table, potential business relationships, and he highlights the fact that they did know each other prior. They believe that Rip and Robbie Lou have a relationship. I believe Robbie's married, so this is weird because she's married to a lawyer. But in this report, they said that they saw them kind of together, and potentially, I think, or either his report or a different report. But basically, Robbie and Rip were kind of like a little close, a little more than friends, possibly. He just highlights, he mentions different people. Mentions Guy Beans about floating, paying to have Robbie come on the show or something, or him owing Robbie, $20,000 or something like that. And I mean, he mentions that, Rip, Robbie, and this goofball, his name is Nick Airball. I call him Nick Goofball. But apparently they had dinner, I guess a few hours before the show or something like that. And, and there's exchange, there's money exchanged between each other, and, someone's backing who and backing this. And, we don't know, Rip's background. Apparently he's been a con man in the past, and somehow he winds up on the show, and he has a relationship with Robbie. And, this is a mess, honestly. And I don't know where Hustler goes from here, but I think that from their standpoint, they have a lot of cleaning up to do. Like, I mean, I know they're going to do their investigation. I know they're going to make sure that, that any cheating occurred. But number one, you had an employee working behind the scenes that potentially had a relationship with Robbie, this guy, Brian. And they fired him, of course. But, so he's stealing money. So you have a guy in production taking money. Okay. And then, you have guys on the show. And, the average viewer is like, okay, you see these guys with these massive amounts of money in front of them, and we just assume like, hey, these guys are rich, whatever. We don't know their background. We don't know who's being floated by who's being staked, backed, whatever you name it. And we don't know some of these guys' past. Now, I'm saying that the public needs to get a background check on all of them, but I think Hustlers should. When you have, they're pretty much running a reality TV show, with players from all over. with money from this business, that business, this background, this whatever it is, right? And it's just kind of like, at some point, man, like all these guys we're not all choir boys or squeaky clean. Just can't happen, you know. Not everybody is a Bill Klein or a JR or all the whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna have to do a better job of bringing on. At my last video I did about this, I was just saying kind of how like Hustler may need to have players come on the show who have a little more experience playing high stakes games, but also have a decent background, you know, because I think like this is gonna continue. If Hustler doesn't really have a better, I guess, check-in, check-out system with some of these players, you're going to have a lot of alleged collusion. You're going to have more situational, or you're going to have more hands played like what was played when Garrett thought he was cheated, like this. You know, you got guys signaling to each other, making weird hand and mouth movements and looking down and stuff like that. And, you know, it's going to make this show very... the show's going to lose some credibility here, and potentially make the show unsafe for players. You know, players that come in with legitimate money and now they're there, you know, dealing with some of these guys who you really don't know about and how they come into money. I mean, there's questions about Rip, you know, saying how did he even come into money? I mean, is this guy even rich? Honestly, like, who knows? Some of these guys may be backed by loan sharks. They may, you know, I'm surprised nobody got whacked yet after hours on the show. Who knows, man? But yeah, this is just interesting, and obviously more details are coming out. You know, I am an admitted fan of Garrett, and you know, look, Garrett's fighting for his life here. Now, I'm not trying to be dramatic, okay, but I mean, he's putting his poker career on the line. You know, Garrett will die on this sword, and he's not letting up. And another thing too is I'm very surprised that Hustler Casino is still streaming games right now. And I know that the show must go on. It's their business. They can choose to continue streaming. But let me tell you something. Like, with a scandal this big going on, you know, as a live stream is going, as a poker live stream, as a Hustler's live streaming their games, and you know, there's all kinds of news bombs dropping. You have people covering it. I mean, you got Joey Ingram covering this. You got Matt Berkey covering this. I mean, like, you know, this is taken away from viewership. So then when you watch a live stream, and especially if you're in the chat or whatever, like all they're talking about is this. I mean, you got the players on the table talking about it. You got guys in the chat talking about it, and then going back and forth between whoever's doing the live stream coverage on whatever latest news was dropped, and then back to the live stream. It's a mess right now. Hey, maybe Hustler likes this exposure. It is publicity. But I just think that it's gonna be like this for a while until they really clean it up. And I think that they really shouldn't be streaming any games, honestly, until they actually do their investigation. But I know they don't want to lose money or anything like that. And I know they have sponsorship deals, and who knows, it's probably a set amount of games they have to do, and with each sponsors or whatever. But I just find this really interesting. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Take care. Please like, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching my last video too. All right, bye.